Yes, it is even different for Russian students to learn Russian. It is
Okay.
very difficult.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So just imagine for us. Okay.
Though if you began to speak, you may speak.
Well,
Yes. Okay. Yes, without.
I have just started recording the meeting because it is the time. So thank you very much for being so punctual. And I'm so happy to have all of you here. And I'm very grateful to all of you because if you weren't here, this wouldn't be possible. And so only just because you are here, it is possible. Yes, I must say that there are a lot of people who won't be able to get connected because they have apologized in advance because they said that last night's thunderstorm has affected their internet connection, so
Yes.
they won't be able to participate today. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm very happy to tell you the truth. And first of all, thank you very much, Natalia, for having accepted our invitation to be interviewed and for being here with us. And thank you very much to the rest of you, my students, my friends who are English teachers. Well, you know Estela because she has already participated in some other meetings. Then we have Maria Jose, yes,
Yes.
and yes,
I appear like Lorenzo. Sorry,
Lorenzo.
I appear like
She's
Lorenzo.
she's Lorenzo. Today she's
Because
Lorenzo.
she will be Lorenzo
yes,
from now onwards.
I explain to Natalia that what happened.
Yes, and then we have Gloria, our dearest Gloria.
Thank you.
Dímelo,
Yeah.
para que estén todas.
Gloria,
Okay.
Yeah.
Gloria,
Ahí
I
queda.
overheard.
Yes. Yes.
I overheard your question to her, and I'd like you to repeat it because some people were not here when you asked her about Moscow metros. Yes.
I was asking her about the metro because I have just been looking at watching the video and I was really impressed by the beauty of it. And I told Natalia that every station, and besides they have different colors, haven't they? Yes, each station is a different color, and they are. Yes, I told her that this is what I think, that they are really work of art. Yes.
Okay. So
Okay.
Natalia, you were telling them about the way they are. Yes, about the. Yes, please.
Yes, Lina. You will tell me when I will, may begin to speak to all people.
Yes, please explain.
Just now
Yes, please tell them.
Just now I may speak.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. My name is Natalia. I am the English teacher and from my profession is the English teacher, like a secondary language, and I live in Moscow. But I was born far away from Moscow in the Soviet Union. There were no any borders at that time. And I was born 2,000 kilometers from Moscow in Orenburg region, near the border with Kazakhstan, where Natasha lives now. And for my father in 60s was sent to work to this city, Aktyubinsk, on West Kazakhstan, and lived there for 35 years. I was studying at school there, the university there, and I married there. I had my children were born there in Kazakhstan. So to Russia only after the destroying the Soviet Union in 2002. For 23 years in Kazakhstan, I was working at school as an English teacher. But when I returned back to Russia, I need to change my work. And for 10 years, I worked at the newspapers. I began from advertising newspaper. Then I worked as the head manager of advertising, as a financial director, as a head editor of the newspaper. So for 10 years, I worked at the newspapers. And now, when I am retired, I worked at a call center. This call center works with the Europe and all Russia, help on roads. We help people to repair their cars during their trips. They may call to our call center from Europe, from different countries. We have calls from France, from our partners there is AXA Systems. So now I am connected with English language somewhere.
So
What to
Kai,
say?
I think we will need her help because of the conditions of our trips.
Yeah, I may answer your questions about any, maybe it will be better for you. But I can say, I always was interested in different activities, and I try to spend much time with students, making or having some parties with them. To all these lessons we have. We have some parties to the holidays in English. So time I use the language. It was very pleasant for me to speak to different people. I like to travel. And during my school days in the Soviet Union, I traveled all over the Soviet Union, and my first trip abroad was when I was a student in 1979. So from that time, I traveled abroad, and I tried to see good things in countries and bad things. So I try to be realistic about the fact that I never been maybe admired the West as some people in our country do, because I understood, always understood that every country has good and bad people, every country has good and bad things in their country and problems, and our problems in our country, they are more close to me than any countries abroad. So I like my country. I was born in Russia. I was born in the area where is the salt lake and salt mines. It is called Sol-Iletsk. This is a small town which was founded by Catherine II at that time, long, long ago in the history of our country. So Orenburg region, where is town situated, it is rich in natural resources, oil, gas, and other resources. So we had, during the Soviet period, we had so many factories. The industry was everywhere in these cities, in this area. Of course, after the destroying the Soviet Union, 90s, I think they were the most awful years in the history of our country. Without laws, without borders, without any rules, people divide all countries, all these socialist republics, and they try to sell all these factories. They closed them. People had no work at that time. They tried to earn money the way they can, every of them. So the state at that time didn't help anybody at all. But from 20, maybe in the 21st century, the scenery began to change. and our life improved from that one, but some
Natalia, according to what you have told me, it is that you consider, you and your generation, let's say, and older generations, consider that living conditions in Russia or in the Soviet Union those days were much, much better than they are nowadays. That is what you have told me. That after the perestroika,
nobody knows what would be, because there is no history in subjective mood. So we have what we have. So I cannot say that it will be better if
but you
if
told me
we
that,
have Soviet period.
yes, but you told me that in those times everything was free.
Yes,
Education,
yes.
transport,
Yes,
lodging.
at that time, our generation may be the happiest in the all other generations in the country, because at that time everything in our country was free for people, and all people have equal rights. We have many social. We have free education for everybody. We have free medical care for everybody. So we have trade unions were so strong at that time that all people, they may travel about the country and abroad according to this trade union money. The trade unions pay for their trips.
Yeah.
So, and children at schools, they have different activities. Nowadays, parents need to pay, and if the family have no money, so the children cannot attend different art school or musical school or sports school. It is more difficult for families now. At that time, we received flats from the state. All flats, they were state flats. And working, for example, in a building company, you may receive your flat more quick than in other. I worked at the railway transport system. The school was connected with railway, and railway at that time, this is like a state inside the state. So it is so rich company. It was state company, but their trade union was so rich. My father was the head of trade union of railway workers for 18 years, and he workers received cars according to these trade unions, so they may have those who work, for example, the best of all, they may have more. At that time, we had not so many cars, of course. Our people was not so rich, but there were no poverty at all in our country. Every family has its own flat or house. Every family has money to feed their families. They have work. Nobody in our country at that time had no work at all. Yeah. We had no people, unemployment people at all. So that time, of course, many people, they are very sorry for the destroying the Soviet Union at that time, and they don't like the leaders who allowed to do this. And they practically left people alone with their problems at that time. And we had no much crime. I told Selena about this in the Soviet period. We had no this because we have special programs, educational programs from our children may go to kindergarten even from one or from half a year, because mothers may go to work and leave their children there in kindergarten. The groups were small, 5, 8 children, small children. Then the other children, more older, they have their programs. They may make something with their hands in kindergarten. They were taught how to recite poems, sing songs, dance, and all these programs. We have like some people say that we had no religion at that time, but our moral codex of the builder of the communism, as it was called, nowadays priests, they say that how it is very surprising that we can have all this Bible in our moral codex in the Soviet period. So this is the same as Bible for all people. They were taught not to do bad to somebody or the same things. So good. We at school, pioneers. These are like scouts on the West. They were, but they help old people. They nowadays it is very important that we at that time we had this program. Nowadays all programs are different. Even in English, teaching English children. I may admit that our Soviet programs, they were better because methodologically they are very good to teach. And nowadays we were taken American textbooks, but maybe they are very good for the first language, maybe. But for the second language, we need quite different textbooks. So that's why, but nowadays children have the opportunity to speak over internet. It is better for them. At that time in the Soviet period, we had no this opportunity. That's why we were not speaking well. Our pronunciation was not so good, though we were taught British variant of English, not American. Nowadays, youth, they are speaking American. And at schools, we have more American.
Natalia,
Yes. Yes, Maria Jose.
what is your opinion about your president, Putin? What do you think? Do you agree with him? Do you agree with his policy? Or what do people in general in your country think about him?
Yeah, I may say, young people like my children, they are not so good attitude to the president, but our generation, we can compare the life in 90s when he take the country and what he done. I think that our children, they cannot compare and they cannot understand. Nowadays they have children, and I try to explain to them that the most difficult life is at any time, during any period of history, the parents have the most difficult life because they have children and they need to have much money to bring them up. So that's why they are not maybe so pleasant words about him. They say that we need to change president. But as concerning, after all, when we've spoken about this, not so many people are against the president. Because all of them, they see nowadays situation in the world, and the more the West press our country, the more people close to their president and to the policy of the country. That's why it is very important.
Okay.
Well, okay. Yes. So now I was going to ask the rest of the people here who wanted to ask Natalia another question. Yes? Who? Camila?
I want to ask. Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
Marina.
Hello.
Okay. Well, okay. Any of you.
Okay, I'll go first then.
Okay.
Hello, Natalia. Nice to meet you. My name is Camila.
Hello, Camila.
Hello. I wanted to know how you're dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic there in Russia.
Uh, what may I say to you? We have not so good situation as it is in the news said. In Moscow, we have many people and more now people are ill. But all this period from March till nowadays, I am 62-year-old person. I go to work by metro, by bus. I return back to my flat. In our country, it is very interesting that we have maybe strict laws, but not all the people, they follow these rules, and they walk without masks everywhere. They put on mask only when they are asked about this. So in our country, it is not so strict as in other countries. And I need to say that last year, we had in our country higher range of artificial pneumonia. So nobody told about this situation. But maybe this year, when the whole world has this COVID, our people mostly, they recovered from all these things, and they maybe are real in easy form, not so hard.
Okay.
Though nowadays, of course, we have our hospitals are full of patients, but mostly, like as I think, we have the same situation after any season flu in autumn and in spring. And in our country, many people, they think that the measures governments all over the world do, they are too strict, they are not adequate. Because many people every season with chronic diseases, they have complications after flu, and the deaths are not maybe higher than usual. The only thing, how to count these deaths. All people having maybe this special the tests make it maybe. I think the tests they don't work properly. They show, for example, that a person may be being ill or now, but at the same time, the person may be ill twice or thrice, even having this immunity. So every season, I didn't send you, I think, the picture of this. Every season we have these injections near every metro station. There is a bus, special bus, and special tent. There were doctors there, and people who want to have the injection against the flu, against this thing, they may come up, they fill in the paper with their, according to the passport or some other, and they may have the injection inside the bus, in this
So
bus.
it
So
means that people are getting
it is
the
free for
vaccine
people,
then.
yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
They are
it
already.
is free for people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay. It is not.
inside
It is
the
not.
country it is free, and
Okay.
all people who want to have the injection, they have.
Okay.
I never did it. Why? I may say to you, my attitude to this problem is that nobody knows, even doctors now, nobody knows how it is spread. Because masks and gloves, as to my mind, they cannot help. Because you didn't change, or you don't change your gloves and masks every 2 hours, and you put to the pockets all these things, then take again and touch here and there. So I think that it will be better to wash the hands.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
I cannot understand
Okay.
This is economically and politically, to my mind and to the mind of our people in Russia, it was done specially to have counted all people, because we have all these measures.
Okay.
We've written everywhere. We were controlled during this period. And nowadays, all of us, they are like on the palm before the government structures.
Okay.
So
Right.
I
Okay.
understand it in this
Yes.
way.
Okay. Okay. It's your opinion. It's okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, Marina. Marina. Yes, you wanted to ask her a question.
Yes. Hello, my name is Marina. Nice to meet you. And I would like to know
Hello, Marina.
which is your favorite thing in Moscow? What's your favorite thing about your country? Moscow, I'm sorry.
About Moscow.
Yes.
Yes.
The history about Moscow. I may say that Moscow differs from other cities, first of all. When it was built in a round, like a round city with radials going from the center. And the same way metro is building in the city. All city, this is like a round, and even there is a legend according to which it was built, like these 12 zodiac signs, different.
Okay. It is as if they had been built I cannot get the word. Diagonales, like diagonales.
This is like a round buildings going radial from the center.
Mm-hmm.
It is not square.
Yes,
St.
yes.
Petersburg
Yes,
is
yes,
square,
I understand.
and Moscow is round city, yes, and all radials go from the center.
Yes.
The streets,
Okay.
yeah,
It's clear.
and we have several rings, automobile ring, metro ring. Now we have 3 rings and one outside Moscow in the Moscow region. So everything is built in this way, and it is in metro. All lines, they have different colors, and there is a ring train going, and there are radial. They are called the same way, radial and ring. So
How many?
it is.
How many inhabitants? How many inhabitants does Moscow have approximately? How many people? Approximately.
14 million people, I think.
Okay, it's a big city.
It is usually changed, but to enrich.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes. Who else? Who wants to ask the next question?
Me,
Me. Who said me?
Bianca.
Bianca. Yes, Bianca. Come on.
Okay, hello Natalia, nice to meet you. I'm Bianca.
Hello, Bianca.
I want to know about your paintings, your drawings. Is that your hobby?
I can paint myself, but I prefer now to paint the pictures according to the numbers. I ordered even portraits of my children in numbers and painted them. So for me, I like painting like this, but I think that it is more beautiful when I do it in numbers. In my childhood, I painted like checks. I did some checks and painted copies. My father was very good in painting oil
Okay. Yes.
pictures,
Yes,
but
yes.
I use acrylic
Uh-huh.
colors.
Okay.
It is more easy. Acrylic is it is drying quickly, yeah,
Yes.
and it is easier.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes. Who's the next? Gabriel?
Yes. Hello, Natalia. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Gabriel.
It's a pleasure. I would like to know about your personal profession. I mean, as an English teacher, how is that you become like interested, or it was just by chance that you started studying it?
I may say that my mother is a teacher. She was the teacher of Russian language and literature. And the whole of my childhood I spent with her students, going anywhere with her and this way. So I was very active at school and in some having some problems with ill teachers in the Soviet Union at the primary school. Teachers from secondary school asked me to have some lessons with the primary school teachers, so children. So I did it at school the same way. I was good at school subjects, and I was very good with children, treating with them. So they often use me when somebody was ill suddenly,
Okay.
and
So you
they
were-
asked me to have 1 or 2 lessons with children
You
in
were
the
a
primary
substitute.
school.
You were a
Yeah.
substitute. Okay.
No, but I was a student at
Yes,
that
yes,
time,
yes,
so
but you were substituting
I
them.
was
Yes.
free.
Okay, yes, yes,
I
we
only,
understand. Yes, they took advantage.
yeah.
Yes, of your knowledge and your time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and after all this, my mother wanted me to be. She was the teacher at the medical academy. She taught philosophy and culturology. Then the history of communist trends. So this was her, and she wanted me to write dissertation to be the same thing. And for 2 years, I tried to maybe make my mother be glad that I want to do this. But 1 year, the third year, I changed and go to the foreign language teacher institute, not saying her a word about this. So I was studying English at school. We had at that time special schools with the second form from 8 children may be taught English at that time, special language schools. And my mother, she knew about this school when we moved to the other city, and I was on the 4th floor. The children studied language 2 years before, and she put me to this class. The teacher tried to have some additional lessons with me, and then I go with all this class myself.
Okay.
So
you started as a kind of helper.
yeah.
Okay.
And we often work at pioneer camps. During school, in the Soviet period, we have pioneer camps in summer, and we work there helping teachers in this. Later, when I was a teacher, I have the same students from elder, maybe 13, 15-year-old children. They help me the same way.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Rebecca, your question?
Yes, hello Natalia, it's nice to meet you. My question
Hello,
is,
Rebecca.
what is the best place in Moscow for a tourist to visit?
Okay, very good question.
My Scottish friend said that the best tour you may have in metro. You may have, you mean the season when you come. The season may be the best in summer. And we have so many places to visit there in Moscow. We have historical buildings, we have museums there. According to your interests, you may choose any of them. You may have with students, for example, some students, they prefer winter because they never seen this snow in winter. Our weather is very different from, you remembered me one thing, which foreigners are very impressed and they are not waiting for this. All, as my Scottish friend says, before visiting Russia, I never think, and all over the world, people say how severe is winter in Russia. But nobody say that you have the most of the year, you have summer, that from April you have summer. Last year in March we have plus 28, and till October nowadays we have 20 plus 28. But then sharp low temperature, and today we have 0. Some days ago we have plus 25, and 5 days later we have 0 now. So, and those people, those tourists who come to the World Football Championship, I was very surprised that from Africa people come in summer in their fur coats. They go from the plane, and when they go out from the airport building and see that it is plus 38, they were very surprised. And it is dry. The climate is dry.
Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you. Yes, Lucina?
It doesn't rain.
Yes. Hello, Natalia. Nice to meet you. I'm Lucina. And
Hello, Lucina.
I want to know about the festivals you have there, like the typical parties you have, or the whole celebrations, the holidays you have.
Yes. In Russia, all people, they want to have holidays, and they celebrate any people's holidays. We have so many nations here in the Soviet Union and Russia that our people, they are eager to take part at any national holiday. So we have holidays every day practically. And every week in Moscow we have some festivals. They may be thematical, devoted to some holidays, maybe revolutionary or war, after war. They may have national color, some, for example, national holidays. They may be, for example, we have Irish festival here in Moscow, the same as in Ireland, or we have some Brazilian maybe festivals. So our people are very interested in different cultures. During the Soviet Union, we ourselves, we dance national dances. I did it many times. We sang songs, and nowadays people sing songs in some different languages. So every week, during a year, whenever you will come, you will have all these festivals, different kinds of festivals. I know one friend, my Scottish friend, the teacher of English, he is from Boston, from USA. When he returned back to USA, he returned here to Moscow during holidays, and he said, it is so interesting there, we'll go to the countryside to ski, to skate. So we have so many interesting activities here with my friends. He asked whether you want to return. He said, yes, I would want to work there more time, and I'll try to find work again. So many of these teachers from Great Britain, from USA, from different, from other countries, when they come here, they want to stay.
Nice. All right. Joaquin Echegoshen.
Hello.
Hello, Joaquin.
How are you? Nice to meet you. I ask you about your food there in Russia. What's your favorite? And about the, I don't know how to say, Selena, help me with the word like variedad. Variedad, like variety.
Variety.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Russian food, I may say, it is very simple food. Like people like not only Russian food now here. For example, as for me, I like porridge. For example, I like porridge with pumpkin. We use these. We have soup, for example, with potato, with turnip, the same, similar to Scottish soup in Russia we have. So we have many people like boiled potato in cover or without, different ways, fried potato, boiled potato. We like, maybe other people not eat this salt fish. Salt fish, it is not usual for many people to eat. But our people, they like this. We have many
What is the
vegetables.
what is the most common meat you consume?
Meat, mostly I think it is pork and beef.
Okay.
Although we have in Moscow all kinds of, nowadays, maybe it's a secret for you that we have sanctions, but we have food all over the world, from Australia, from USA, from Great Britain, from Europe, any countries in our shops. My friend from Germany, she was very surprised.
Many
She said, you have more than we have. So yeah, and in Moscow, for example, my friend, he missed fish and chips, because we have no this in Moscow, these fish and chip restaurants or food. And in Moscow, it is mostly maybe Japanese food. Some Chinese restaurants, they are more popular. Young people, they like this kind of food, not Russian food.
Yeah, most people, most young people like that. Yes.
And the most people like Asian maybe food. So we have different kind.
That's true.
So for me, I like more vegetables and fruit. So in my ration, yeah, I have vegetables. I have usually my Scottish friend used to eat everyday soup. And I cook, for example, Scottish soup broth, it is called, with turnip, or our Russian food, it is called рассольник. We use salt cucumbers and this juice inside, and tomato in this soup. Though you may put any vegetables there, potato. I usually put potato, Bulgarian pepper, then carrot. Carrot is using mostly turnip to this soup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and leek and some other herbs.
Yes. Okay. Matthias, your question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, you can. We can hear you very good.
Okay. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hello, Matthias.
You mentioned that you participated in the Football World Cup of 2018. What was your experience there?
It was the first so great experience in my life, and when I've seen that it is the announcement about volunteers, I try to take part. Mostly, of course, students were in our team. I worked with VIP persons at the airport. These are referees. These are legend football players. We met the team from Argentina with Messi. We met from Portugal with Ronaldo team. So all our
So you were at the
students.
airport to give them the welcome, to welcome them.
It is not like speaking to them, but we were in a team meeting them. They came to our city, to Moscow, not as other teams. These Portugal and Argentina teams, they come to the airport, which is small and used mostly for government planes.
Okay.
And not so many people can go there. So we are lucky. We were taken from airport Domodedovo, where we worked. The great two big airports, Sheremetyevo and Domodedovo, in Moscow. We worked in Domodedovo. And we were taken to meet these teams. Of course, we were not speaking to them, but Messi is so open-hearted man. He's so waving hand for all people being there. It is great. And to some people, for example, as Kalina, the referee, the main referee, he was speaking, we were speaking to him because I met him several times and he suggested we were not allowed to ask for photo with them. We were not allowed to do this. We were at work. So only if they ask or allow themselves, suggest themselves. So Kalina suggested us to take photo with him and Iker Casillas suggested, that's why I sent you photo which I have. And Iker Casillas, he write down his autograph, his sign gives for my grandson. My grandson, he plays football, he's 8, and he's so happy to have this. So the experience working there, it is great. Because all people come to our country, many of them, they cannot speak Russian, they cannot speak any other language except their own. Many of them, they were from only one language country, like Great Britain, for example. They think that the whole world need to speak English. But we have many people speaking Spanish-speaking and French-speaking from colonies, past colonies of France, from Africa. And it is very interesting for me that when we try to help them, a guy speaking French to me and I speaking English to him, we understood each other. So it occurs that we had not so many Spanish-speaking people, translators, and French-speaking, mostly English-speaking. But we had Chinese-speaking, Korean. The students were from different faculties. And we have not only VIP persons, as we need to help in our free time, we help all other tourists. And they were very happy because, for example, in my experience, they were people from USA who come at night and they booked apartment, not the apartment, not the hotel. And the owner of this apartment, of course, he didn't, maybe they didn't say that they will come at night.
Okay. Yes.
And they were very worried that they cannot call to the owner. He didn't take, and they were very afraid that they lost their booking, they lost their money. But of course, everything ends happily, and we help them. Many of them. It occurs that USA, for example, telephone net, they have no partners in Russia, and they needed to buy our SIM cards for their telephones and put money so that to speak here in our country. So it occurs, we Russian people, we used to have net from our telephone any country in the world. We have partners at any country, but USA have no partners in our country at all. So, and their tourists, they were not so happy about this fact. And some other, for example, which according to, we have high-speed internet here, and foreigners, tourists, they were very surprised how it works there. That everywhere in our country, even in metro, I use, Selena, no,
yes. Sometimes I receive some audios from Natalia when she's traveling by metro, so she's talking to me. Yes, it's a very good
we
connection.
have in metro the same way this internet connection in metro even. So they were very surprised how it is quick, the speed of internet, and how it is good.
Okay.
So the worst of all I've met, can you imagine, in London?
Yeah.
Even in Africa, they have more speed in internet than in London. So,
all right, thank you. Yes, Diana. Hi, Diana. Yes.
Hi,
okay.
My name is Diana.
Hello, Diana.
Well, I am interested in the educational system there. So, how it is working during this pandemic situation?
How our medical system will work?
Educational. Or medical.
Education. As
Education
concerned education, in spring, we were closed everywhere, and it was online education for everybody, and for people and their parents, it was like a nightmare. Nowadays, it is said in our press that from our government that it will not be locked down here. And nowadays, online education only in Moscow have children from the secondary school. Primary school, go to school. They are okay. But we began the year in September in a strict situation, though I cannot understand why they do this, because to my mind it is useless. All children come to school, they were sitting in separate classes, they were not allowed to go to during the breaks somewhere. They need to have fresh air. They need to go to the toilet. And it is useless, I think, because when they go out from school, they mostly 2, 3, or even 5 children, they are from one and the same family, and they connected with each other at home, in the street. They play in the yard together. They go to some activities, to the sports school or to the musical.
The situation can be controlled at the school, but not outside. I mean, as soon as they leave school.
Yeah, we now it is not strict here. I think that government understand. I told some things about these masks, that we have strict laws, but nobody follow these rules. Even in metro, I go without mask. Today, for example, I try to use sweater. But I use it because I cannot use mask.
Natalia,
I cannot.
Are metros too crowded?
In busy time it is overcrowded, but trains go every 2 minutes. In busy time. But of course you stay like a fish in a thing. So inside the wagon, people in Moscow, they used to this situation, and as comparing with London metro, for example, again my Scottish friend may compare, because in London all people go or walk so slow, and inside and outside, and the train is staying for a long time. In Moscow this is strict timetable, and people go in and out very quickly. And they know they are ready to go out the next station, and it is written everywhere. During the championship, we received more better signs in metro in English, Chinese, and Russian. We have it. And we have it not only advertising somewhere above our head or on the wall. We have it on the floor. You may follow the line. For example, you go green line. It is on the floor, and it is better for people to.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. It's more practical. Yes. So everybody can
And
see.
as concerning to the situation nowadays, I think that there will no strict lockdown here. They say that that we'll have no. Though, of course, we have concerts now. We have the restaurants and cafes are working now. So the only thing, again, it is ridiculous to my mind. When you come to the restaurant, you need to have mask. Then you go to the table, and somewhere I ask, we will eat in the mask? They say, we say no. When we sit down at the table, we take off everything and order and eat, of course, but we need to sit far away from other people, and when we go to the table, we need to have mask.
Exactly.
So it is ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
And all people understand this.
Yes, sometimes it doesn't make sense. That's true. Okay, Florencia. Hi, Florencia.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, Florencia.
Well, I was about to ask, how is a regular day for you?
A regular day in your life.
Yes.
My regular day, my regular day may be so different. For example, I may tell you about my regular day. I work at night, 12 hours from 20 till 8 o'clock in the morning. And between these two nights, my day is practically one and the same. I come, have a sleep, for example, 3-4 hours, then cook something and go to work again. I may read news, for example, in internet, or listen to some music or something like this. But all other days when I am free, for example, from my night shift on Friday, I went to visit my grandchildren to sit with them because their parents go to Moscow to work. For day and night work they have. And when they have me as a babysitter, they are very happy. And they live 75 kilometers from Moscow. I go there by train. I have social card, free card. I may go free there, here and there, and over Moscow. I use my social card. It is free for me. So we have some privileges before the young people. And Friday I spent with my grandchildren. We go to the dances, belly dances, or some, classic. My granddaughter Nastya, she has ball dances. Then we go to the art school. She's drawing. She take some lessons in drawing, so we were there. And on Saturday in the morning, my sister brought me my mother, and she's with dementia, and I spent the whole day practically with her. The grandchildren, they help me with her. So, and in the morning, Sunday, my sister come take my mother and me, and we go to Moscow by car. And I go to my flat, which is building now and repairing. And then I go home and and I go to work. So I usually go here and there and to my.
Yeah, you're always you're an active woman.
Yeah.
You're a very active woman. Yes. Okay. Adela. Adela, are you there? Adela. We can hear you, Adela. No? Pia? Pia? No? Talking to my theoretical. What did she say?
Sorry.
Yes, it says that her
she may write down her question.
Working. Yes, tell me.
She may write down her question.
Yes, she said.
I may answer.
Yes, that's what I'm going to suggest. You can write down your question, Pia. Okay, and there's another message from Adela. Okay. Listen, is there somebody else who'd like to ask Natalia any other question? You, Maria Jose?
That is pure.
The most beautiful thing about Russia was the question, yeah?
Yes.
I don't know whose question it was, but the most interesting about Russia. Yeah?
Yeah.
This is a question from Pia. Yes, what is the most beautiful thing about Russia?
Right, exactly.
The most beautiful thing in Russia. I cannot even tell you the most beautiful thing in Russia because on the territory of Russia we have practically all nature all over the world. We have the same mountains, waterfalls, we have rivers, big rivers and very strong waterfall. We have seas and oceans. We have different climate. We have, for example, when we work, the day begins at the Far East. We have 7 hours with Moscow, this region. So, and the day goes from Vladivostok, from Far East, and there are so many different places all over Russia. I cannot even tell you. Altai is very beautiful. There are mountains there. The nature is very good. Baikal, the lake Baikal, maybe you've seen the most deep lake, not salt it is with fresh air, and it is the most deep in the world.
You know,
so
Natalia,
maybe this.
Natalia, you know, Gloria has always had a dream to visit. Gloria? What? Which city?
That was that was going to be my question. To visit St. Petersburg.
Yes. Said that.
Do you know it? Yes. Do you know the city?
Yes, of course. St. Petersburg is called the cultural capital of our country, and it is quite different from Moscow. It is even built not in the same way as Moscow. It is built like Edinburgh square street. Very straight streets, and it is very beautiful in architecture. There are many museums there. People are different, I think, there even. But it is a more criminal city.
Wow,
It occurs
yes.
more than Moscow.
And,
so,
Yes, and besides it has a very, yes, from the war, it has a very sad story too. Yes, it's sad
Yes,
history.
and
That's a history.
if you will visit St. Petersburg, you of course may visit Moscow the same way, because we have speed train between them. 4.5 hours it is from Moscow to St.
Write down,
Petersburg by
Gloria.
train.
Write down everything, Gloria.
Yes. I'm buying the tickets
Because,
this
yeah,
moment. Yes.
she has always.
Yeah, you are
She
welcome.
has always
You
said
are welcome.
how much she would like to visit it. Yes.
Yes.
It is one of her dreams. She has
Yeah,
always said that.
okay.
Yeah, I think it will be great. The trip will be great. And you need to see Moscow and St. Petersburg.
Of course.
Okay. Now you know, Gloria.
Yes, so directly. Yes.
Sophia, are you there? Sophia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Sophia.
Hello, Sophia.
Sophia, yes, you wanted to ask
Nice to
Natalia
meet you.
a question?
Yes, I have a question about, for example, a new activity or a new hobby that you found or discovered in this quarantine.
Okay. During quarantine, yes. Which hobby or activity you have discovered? That is her question.
As for me, I had no any quarantine at all. I may go here and there the whole period. I have free. I may go the same way as without quarantine everywhere. According to my character, I try to find different activities during the year, and every year it is sometimes not connected. I write verses sometimes. I have some songs on my words. I draw pictures sometimes. So I may go in for sports somewhere with my children. I play football with my grandson, because in my childhood I was a goalkeeper, and till nowadays I cannot run well, maybe for a long time, but I may stay as a goalkeeper. So I often play football with the children. I may dance with my granddaughters. One is 7, the other is 8. They are different. One is ball dances, the other is belly dances. So I may do all these things. I like to sing. I play the piano, but not for a long time sitting by the instrument. So,
Natalia, my question is, how would you describe Russian people? Because we have a certain concept about Russian people.
Yeah.
But that is what
I understand.
the Western world thinks about that. So that's
I understand.
I want your opinion.
My opinion. I think that Russian people, in their nature, they are very kind, and it surprised maybe many people that after all bad things doing by somebody to the country, our people are welcome to all these people who invaded our country. We have this history of invading for many times. Some peoples, they don't know what is it. So our Russian people, I think they patriotic. They may say bad words about their government and their country, but if somebody will say a bad word about our country, they will be furious. So, and in all our fairy tales, a Russian man, for example, is a kind, big, strong man, but a bit foolish, according to the that he is lazy. He always tries to invent something, not to work hard. So in our fairy tales, he usually helps somebody And he did it. He does it in a way as if it is very silly, but he always helpful and very kind.
Okay.
So a kind soul, kind-hearted person. So very patriotic in all these ways. So
And
maybe in this,
Natalia, is there too much poverty in Russia nowadays?
in Russia now,
Yes.
I cannot say that it is much poverty here. Of course, people all people live different in different way now, and it is more hard life now than during the Soviet period. But our people to all this, maybe it is very interesting for foreigners. All our people have, if not flat, a house somewhere in a village. They have a plot, orchard or garden. They have their own vegetables, fruit. They have their meat. They have their they have something. All these. They are not rich, of course, but they may feed their families, and they may work.
Yeah.
So
you may say people on a regular basis are hardworking.
yes, not so many people are homeless in the streets. Not so many as we've seen in different countries, in Europe countries. During the Soviet period, we had nobody at that time at all. For our Soviet culture, it is impossible to be unemployment and to live in the street. So nowadays we have, of course, we have some people, there are some near metro, but in our country maybe it is more difficult to live in the street in this winter time, in autumn, very cold.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So some of these people maybe, maybe they want to live somewhere, but they cannot do this.
No, because it is freezing cold. It would be impossible for someone to live in the streets. Okay. All right. So any other question for Natalia?
Selena, I would like to ask
Yes.
her another question.
Maria Jose.
Natalia, what information have you got in your country about the Russian vaccine? Because here we know in Argentina it was said some time ago that it has been developed, the Russian vaccine, and that it was in the third phase. Maybe what is information you citizens in Russia have about it?
Yes. Nowadays we have the second vaccine registered, the other one, and the first one registered. It will be sold in December. Even Argentina and Peru will buy this vaccine, as we know.
Yes.
There are different countries which buy this vaccine nowadays, and they order it in December. I've read that in December, Argentina and Peru will receive. I may say to you about this vaccine, it is based on. Yes, I think yes.
You said it's going to be ready before the end of the year. Yes.
Yes. I may say to you one thing which may be not told in your press outside Russia. All this vaccine, we have many institutes from that time not destroyed, because all these medical centers and institutes investigating all these things, they were supported by government, they were supported by government money, and they work always done. This vaccine, it is based on the vaccine which was used against fever. Maybe you know this.
Fever.
Yeah, and it helped to these patients in Russia. We had not so many patients to which we use this special lungs mechanical breathing. Because we use all these medicines to our patients. Maybe because of this fact we had no.
What about side effects? What about side effects?
I think that this is like with any, it is not written that people had this, but some people which may have chronic diseases, they may be very careful to use this. I think that maybe it is not useful to use it with these people because nobody knows how their body react. As I may say to every doctor, the new one, every patient, this is like the experimental, because nobody knows how personal body react at that or this medicine. So if you, every medicine, when you cure something, you make bad to other, maybe.
Yeah, that is what
So all people know this, and if you needn't use it, then you needn't use. I never do, for example, this vaccination, never, against flu, because I have some education, medical education as a medical sister, nurse. I may do some injections to my children. I did it myself. And I may say that you need to feel yourself and to know yourself from which medicines you may have maybe allergic reaction, which medicines do this or that. In our country, it is maybe very amazing for you, but our people, they may buy medicines themselves in chemistry. And many of our people, they cure themselves their own without any recipes from the doctor. That's why maybe our people are not so influenced by all these things you have in your countries, because they may cure themselves by some herbs, like people's medicine, by honey, then ginger, some lemon tea. They usually, even vodka and cognac, we use as medicines in Russia.
Look at Gloria's face.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about where can we get the best vodka in the country? What is the best?
The best vodka. For me, for example, it is awful, any vodka. I don't use it at all. For my friend, for my Scottish friend, he prefers Stolichная vodka. But I may say nowadays, I think maybe bottles very beautiful used for this, but vodka is one and the same in any bottle. If it is made from grain, high quality, it is okay everywhere. And and for me, it is at any bottle in any with
and it is the same.
Yes. Name, it is one and the same. My Scottish friend said that in Russia is very cheap. Vodka is very cheap. Maybe because of this we have medicine, cheap medicine from COVID.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is good
Yeah,
for disinfection.
the smokers and drinkers, they don't being ill at all. So drink vodka, smoke, and you will be healthy.
Well,
I never smoked and I never get drunk. I drink only slight, even wine. When somebody see me drinking wine, they say, "What a face you have at that time." I say that I may feel even slightly strength of it, and it is not very pleasant for me. I like juices more.
exactly. Yeah.
And one more thing, when I remember, I say to you, which usually strike foreigners in in Moscow. It is not usual for other countries. In our flats, we have temperature in winter when it is maybe minus 30 outside. Inside we have plus 23, 25, and we freshen the air. We have open window every time the whole year round, having heating or not, because the air is very dry and we need to fresh.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why maybe our people not so influenced all this, because I think to my mind, like a prophylactical measure from this COVID, you always need to have fresh air, you need to have activity, you need to walk, you need to work again here and there, you need to have something to entertain yourself, not concentrate on these pessimistic problems.
Okay. All right. Well, I think it has been a very enjoyable meeting. I don't know if there's somebody else who would like to ask a question, because I think she has answered all our questions and then all our doubts. And I don't know if there's somebody else. Well, Natalia, thank you very much. Thank you very much for answering.
Thank you very much for all your questions, for all your interest to our country, to our city. You are welcome to Russia, and you will see with your own eyes how hospitable our people are. During this football championship, people were impressed by hospitality. I sent Selena even this message from people. They were, yes, for all that we...
Yes, we keep learning every day, every time, and then this has been a very good opportunity for all of us to learn a lot of things about your place and about you and your lifestyle and everything there. It has been a pleasure. It is always a pleasure.
Yes, thank you very much. I was very pleased that you are so interested in our country, because so many lies about Russia everywhere.
Yeah.
So nowadays you can find, for example, for me, it is very easy to find information from any country in English or in Russian. But for foreigners, it is very difficult to find something, because you are given special given information in your languages.
That's right.
You cannot read in Russian or other news. And so that to have all this, you need to compare. Because I was working in this newspaper. I know how the news done. I know how these TV programs done. So it is, you need to have many sources.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Well, thank you very much, and thank you to all of you. To all of you. To be
Thank you
here
very much. Yeah.
and participating here. I have been very...
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Selena.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Natalia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Selena.
Yes, I'm very grateful to you for your interest to Russia. Bye.
Thank you for invitation.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
You're
Selena.
welcome.
Okay.
Yes. I'll see you.
Yeah.
See you.
I'm ready to speak to everybody.
I'll be there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.